Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends. I'm Russ Alien. It's my day 18 of learning how to speak to the camera confidently. I have put myself onto a challenge to speak to the camera for 30 days and see how I improve from day one. As I mentioned previously, it's day number 18, and the main challenge from video day 11 till day 20 is to pick a topic and talk about it for 10 minutes. I haven't had a chance to think about the topic, but I thought about this idea to pick a book from a shelf here. I've already picked the book and talk about the book for 10 minutes. All right, you're with me? If you have read this book, comment down below and tell me what you think. 10 minutes, off we go. All right, the book I have picked is called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So this is actually my second book in my lifetime. First book I had back when I was 10, or not 10, sorry, I'm exaggerating now. I think I was 15-ish, 15, 16-ish, and I think I bought this book from somewhere, or somebody gifted it to me, but I've lost, that book disappeared. I've lost it somewhere, even though I have read it at least once. And because it actually helped me realizing some of my goals and aspirations in life, I decided to buy this book again because I want to reread it and understand this secret in more detail, or understand it fully. Because the things I have read in this book, which I have implemented in my life, have actually manifested. And that was crazy. Like, I give you one example. So basically I was in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. I haven't had a car, and I always wanted to have a car because not all my peers, but quite a lot of young people would drive, luxurious cars, and it's just easy to roam around the city if you have a car. And I haven't had a car, but I really wanted one. And after reading this book, I followed the advice. So one of the advice was to keep thinking about the thing you want. Keep imagining that you're actually driving a car. For example, in my instance, you're actually doing something that you want. So you're actually driving the car. You feel the details of the car. You imagine how you drive down, your streets in your city or your country, and you sort of say hi to your friends, blah blah blah, and just close your eyes and trying to imagine that. And after like 7 or 8 months or so of doing that, somehow from nowhere there appeared a chance to get a car. So my dad had a land in the city, and he told me that the land is yours and you can do whatever you want with it. And I was like, okay, what if I try and sell it? I try and sell it and use that money to buy a car. Obviously now I understand that the car is liability and I shouldn't have probably done that, but essentially the land wasn't as useful because it had some gas pipes underneath, so you couldn't really build anything on it. So it was quite not useless. You could potentially use it in some other areas, but probably not as lucrative. But anyhow, the final verdict is I have exchanged that land to a Lexus RX 330. And that was a moment, a light bulb moment. Was like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy how it happened. And I didn't even think about the book. Like, I just followed the advice, and then several years later, I only remembered the secret that I read, which I implemented into my life, and it realized in the actual reality. It's crazy, guys. So yeah, there's quite a lot of deep thoughts in this book, which I still remember, but the main thing or the main point of this book is to keep thinking about the thing you want and keep visualizing, and it will appear in the reality one day. So yeah, I mean, they have a video as well that you can watch on YouTube. You don't really have to read if you don't like reading, but I think when you read it, it actually sticks in your head, and it's just better to read these kind of things, you know what I mean? Like, from my point of view, if you watch a video, you just forget it the next day, I think, and you just never go back to it. But when you read it, the actual text and the actual stories here that people are talking about, I think that's what counts and sticks in your mind for long term. So yeah, I really admire this author. I really admire this book. I sort of never regretted buying it in the first place, and I bought it again because I want to reread it and just remind myself on how to achieve goals, how the world or how things materialize into reality. And yeah, it's very interesting, guys, to be honest. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. That's why I'm not great with articulation here now. But let me read something from this book from Bob Doyle. It says, the law of attraction. The study and practice of the law of attraction is just figuring out what will help you generate the feelings of having it now. Go test drive that car. Go shop for that home. Get in the house. Do whatever you have to do to generate the feelings of having it now. And remember them. Whatever you can do to achieve that will help you to literally attract it. So yeah, guys, that's the text from there. And it's not only the secret, right? Like, it's the thing that a lot of successful people are talking about, whether it's in their videos or through their books or through their podcasts, etc. So people always say that it doesn't take one day to achieve success. And they haven't achieved the success overnight. It's years of work. For some, it could take 20 years to get what they want to. For some, it could take 5 days. And everyone is so different, completely different. And you have to just be in your pace, and your time will come. So there is a right time for everyone. And you don't have to look up, you have to look up for someone who achieves success if you want to, but you don't have to compare yourself to people who have achieved more than you. You can't compare that, because you're a different human being. You have a different life. You have a different path in this life, different destiny. So there's no way you can go and compare yourself to anyone that you're jealous about. So for example, you're 30 and the other guy is 19 and he's already earned $1 million through drop shipping or whatever, but you're in your 30s and you haven't even bought a house yet, or haven't even bought a car yet. And it doesn't really matter. As long as you are on that path and you're dreaming about it and you want it in your life, it will eventually come to whatever you want to achieve. It's just a matter of persisting, staying resilient, and pushing and never giving up. And that's what matters at the end of the day. And I'm sure if you keep being consistent and keep pushing, you will definitely achieve that result in one way or another. And if you apply this particular secret here in this book to all of that what you do, I'm sure it will be realized sooner or later. Not sure when, and you don't have to be too concerned. You don't have to be too concerned when it's going to be available to you or when it's going to come into reality. You just have to make sure you're staying at it. You keep pushing, never giving up, and things will come. So don't compare yourself, just be yourself, strive, and everything will come. That's some of the words from myself, what I have learned in my 32 years, and I think it perfectly applies to the secret. If you apply this as well in your life, I think you will realize that things actually materialize. That's 10 minutes from me, guys. Comment down below if you think I'm more confident now speaking to the camera compared to day 1, day 2, day 3, and whether my thought processes are in place. I will really appreciate if you will subscribe, or even if you watch up until this point in time. Thank you so much. It's Russ Alien, and see you in day number 19. Bye.